What's up, guys? Doomwake here, and welcome back to another modern video here on the channel. I guess you could say this is part 2 of the Boros Convoke saga. I'm sure we'll leave a link to part 1 in the description down below if you guys didn't have a chance to check that one out. But yeah, this was actually an inspiration from a donation deck that was submitted to me on my Twitch channel. Shout out to Twitch user Oh My God for submitting that as the initial deck. And if you guys didn't see in the first video, there was some things that I mentioned at the end that I think we could maybe improve on, and some upgrades for Modern Horizons 3 that I think make this deck quite a bit better. And let's kind of just talk about those. So if you haven't seen a Convoke deck, it's pretty straightforward. Step 1, get an artifact into play, which we have a few ways of doing that: Memnite, Ornithopter, Novice Inspector, and Thraben Inspector. Blow up said artifact to make 3 goblin tokens, Gleeful Demolition and Kuldotha Rebirth, and then find a payoff for having a bunch of creatures. Bushwhacker pumps your team. Knight-Errant is basically free to casting with Venerated Loxodon, because these are Convoke creatures, so if you tap 5 creatures, you can play just a 0-mana 4/4. Loxodon puts counters on the creatures that convoked it, and then Knight-Errant of Eos basically draws 2 cards. That's kind of the easy part in the core of the deck. The new cards here, which actually really work extremely well in this deck. So Guide of Souls is the first one. This is a card, I'm sure you've probably seen this card if you've played any Modern over the past couple of weeks, and it's, most popular in the Boros energy decks because they have other ways to generate energy and plenty of ways to keep the guide flowing. But what's nice about it in this deck is your deck is just entirely creatures, right? You have 34 creatures and then 8 spells that make 3 creatures. Really, what's nice about Guide of Souls is when you have it in play and you play either Rebirth or Gleeful Demolition, that's 3 energy immediately for you to just trigger the Guide of Souls that turn. And then the other new card here is Ajani, Nacatl, Pariah. So Ajani is very powerful. Again, I'm sure you've seen this in the Boros decks. It's 2 mana, 1/2. Whenever one or more other cats you control die, flip Ajani, and then you start making more cats that way. And what's nice about the 0 ability on the backside, it counts red permanents, so Gleeful Demolition, Kuldotha Rebirth, cheap way to get red permanents for Ajani, and give you a ton of creatures to be able to deal them. Like, you can deal a lot of damage with Ajani 0, and sometimes even if you can't attack for whatever reason, you can just win a game with the 0 ability on the backside of this. Now, there's some interesting decision points here about Ajani and Guide of Souls, and more notably a card that is omitted that I did talk about in the initial video, which was Ocelot Pride. I did a test league with Ocelot Pride, and I found that when you have it without removal spells, it's much worse than it is in other Boros and Mardu decks, because this deck can't really clear the way for an Ocelot Pride, so it was only good when I had Guide of Souls, which, to be fair, it is quite good with Guide of Souls. But I went for additional consistency of more inspectors to be able to make sure we have enough fuel for the Gleeful Demolitions, Kuldotha Rebirths, so on and so forth. So that's why I've chosen to omit Ocelot Pride. And one other thing worth noting about Ajani is it is a little bit worse when you don't have removal, because a common play pattern in Boros is to discharge or bolt the cat token to have the controller flip its own Ajani, and we don't have the ability to do that. With that said, Ajani's still an extremely powerful card, and 2 bodies for Convoke, it basically pays for itself when you talk about Knight-Errant and Loxodon. And if you ever get into combat with the cat token, again, the backside, a ton of damage in this deck. Nothing too crazy about the mana base. The one thing that I will note is I think this is one of the few decks in Modern that does not want to play a Surveil land, just because you really need to be curving out. There are frequently spots where you need to play, you need to double spell every turn, and also frequently you're keeping 2 landers, and if one of those lands is an ETB tap land, it's really going to mess up your curve. As far as the sideboard is concerned, as clean as it gets. 4 Harsh Mentor for Nadu, 4 Drannith Magistrate for Storm and Cascade, 4 Sanctifier en-Vec for Grief decks, Mono Black, Rakdos, all that stuff. And then Flare of Fortitude, which is kind of a weird one, but it was the best answer that I could find to Wrath of the Skies. Because, as you can probably imagine, when you're playing a bunch of Memnites and a spell that makes 3 1/1 Goblin tokens, not that great against Wrath of the Skies. So you have enough things to sacrifice: Novice Inspector, Thraben Inspector, Ajani if you absolutely have to, But yeah, I think you need this card to be able to beat the Jeskai deck. So that is pretty much it for the deck tech here. Again, I think that these MH3 cards really do add a new dimension to Boros Convoke, but where there's only one way to find out whether or not they're good. So I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Yeah, so I'm glad that somebody finally pointed that out. I was going to bring this up. So I know it looks kind of weird to not have Gigantha, but there's 2 reasons. One, the sideboard is half cards that cannot be compatible with Gigantha, and 2, you're an 18 land deck that curves that your curve stops at 2. So I think a lot of the time you're just not Giganthing that often in this deck. Can you show us the tweet? I'll bring it up on camera as soon as Jose tweets it. But I don't think he tweeted it yet. It's a lot of Memnites. I mean, I might as well just do this now, right? Save the Memnites for Bushwhacker and or Guide of Souls. You wish you were joking. All right. I mean, if it's a serious tweet, I mean, like I said, I'll look at it. Johnny, we can't really attack here because they get to block with Cat Token. So we're going to just be kind of staring at each other until we can find a Bushwhacker to hopefully kill them. I know, if we had a second Knight, we could have played double Knight. The Gleeful plus the Memnite. This is just a lot of us staring at each other. Nobody wants to attack. I'm kind of surprised. Oh. Well, I guess if I attack with my Cat Token and they block with theirs, then my Ajani can kill theirs, right? So I think that's fine. And then if they block with Amped Raptor, then my Ajani can kill their Ajani. So I think that's fine. I think either way, I'm pretty happy with the outcome. The outcome is most likely they're just going to take 2, but I can use one of these. I guess, this is maybe worse if we draw Guide of Souls. But if we draw a Guide, I can still trigger it with Memnite into Rebirth. This is a weird game. It's a lot of Raptors. Fleck, thank you for the 7-month resub. Welcome back, Fleck. Another Guide. They can start jumping stuff. They can't quite jump 2 things, but they can jump 1. Take it an attack next turn? Yeah. I mean, it's just going to be the same outcome, right? Oh, they're going to jump Ragavan. I guess that makes sense, yeah. I mean, we don't have a lot of time left. Take this. Taking 6, going to 11. We need to either find our Guide of Souls or a Bushwhacker. Preferably a Bushwhacker. It's a bit cringe. It's a little cringe. Bush me? I'm at 10. 4, 5, 6. I'm just dead on board, right? Because they can jump with Guide of Souls. 4, 8. And then if I block this, I just die. I think I'm dead. Maybe they won't see it. It says, Doomwake, please command WotC to ban Nadu using your preview veto power. Yeah, they didn't kill me. That's nice. I tried. Why didn't they kill me? I think the issue is I only get one action a month. I don't know what I've used my action on previously, but they only let me do it once a month. Use that preview veto power. It's like it's on a cooldown period right now. Okay, I don't care about that. Okay, now I kind of do. Okay, this is not going super well. This is not going exactly how I had hoped. This deck felt a lot better when we played it on Friday. Or Saturday, rather. We want any of the stuff against Boros. Could bring in Sanctifier against Flage. I like Sanctifier, but I don't want a ton of copies. I'll just do 3, I guess. Try 3. Yeah, it's possible this deck should play a couple copies of Goblin Bushwhacker. I don't know exactly what you would cut for it, though. That's the issue. But I could certainly see playing a couple of Goblin Bushwhackers. Like, that card is good. for sure. I'm gonna actually lead with Novice Inspector, because they're less incentivized to kill this on turn 1. But whereas if I play this, they're 100% gonna kill it. It's your win condition? Yeah, I mean, you have Knight to find them, so I don't know how, like, I don't know what the correct number of copies is to play, but I certainly think that maybe you're correct. It is possible that more than 4 could be good. I could buy that. What are we doing here? We're gonna go here. And then I think I'm just going to... I think I'm going to dump my hand and attack with the Novice Inspector. I'm going to sack the Clue. Oh, okay, well. It's good enough for them, I guess. I guess we're not attacking. Oh. I tried, you know? No Bandless Pioneer win. What would the best deck in No Bandless Pioneer be? Trying to think of what the most egregious card in the Pioneer ban list is. I don't know. Yeah, Oko Uro, maybe? Honestly, Mono Green is probably a good answer, too. Mono Green is really messed up. Guess I'm going to go here on 1. Donkin, thank you for the 19-month resub. 07's for Donkin. Appreciate the support, Donkin. Thank you very much. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I kind of assumed that mono green with like the ley line and stuff would be very, very good. Dude, it is really bad outside. What am I doing this turn? I mean, it's probably just Guide Rebirth, right? Next turn, Memnite Bushwhacker. It's got to be Guide Rebirth. I mean, I guess there's a good chance they have a removal spell for the Guide of Souls here, but how did the Spy deck win again? Bunch of Creeping Chills, right? Yeah, they went Creeping Chill. I'm just gonna pass here. They went like Creeping Chill, and then they had like Memory's Journey to shuffle back Thassa's Oracle, I think. Oh, they had the Worldspine Worm too, right? I think they played 1 Worldspine Worm. They played, it was like 4 Narcomoeba, 4 Chills, 4 Amalgams. Yeah, and then 1 Worldspine Worm. So they would just mill everything, deal you 12, put like 16 power into play, and then just shuffle the worm back in. Which is pretty funny. I think that was kind of hilarious. Just the fact that they played 1 Worldspine Worm was so funny to me. Well, I mean, that's pretty good. Alright, fuck your Flage. Still can't attack, though. Pioneer with no ban list would probably just look a lot like Historic before MH3. I would be able to respond to that if I knew what Historic looked like before MH3. But I've basically never... I've tried to... Here's the thing about Historic. I try my hardest to block that particular format from my memory. Like, I just pretend that it doesn't exist. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but... It picked up El Jefe, huh? Is it Bush in time? I don't think so. Oh, my lights just flickered, chat. It might be 07's time. I'm going to tell you right now. It might be 07's time. I could literally lose power at any second right now. What are you going to do when they start printing alchemy cards in person and you need a dual disc to resolve their digital play only? I'm going to read that again. What are you going to do when they start printing alchemy cards in person and you need a dual disc to resolve their digital only play patterns? That is a very good question, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Oh yeah, I was going to say, did Jose post the tweet? Alright, no idea if this is lethal, but I'm dead on board, so I'm just going to do it and see if it is. You do the math. I think it's not lethal, but I think they go to 2, right? My 1 creature short? Damn it. So close. I mean... Keep it. I'm going to keep trying. Is it better to play Reckless over Goblin Bushwhacker? So, Reckless is easier on the mana, but it's possible we want to play both. That doesn't make this hand any better. Vaccine Valley Mightcaller. What is Valley Mightcaller? Alright. Well, I've seen it now. 1 mana, 1/1 trample. Whenever another frog, rabbit, raccoon, or squirrel you control dies, put a counter on it. Frog, rabbit, raccoon, or squirrel. It's kind of cool. Oh, it's enters. Did I read it wrong? Enters. I thought it said dies. It's kind of cool. Is there a way to make... I'm assuming there's probably a way to make, like, frog, rabbit, squirrel tokens, right? Yeah, but, like, it depends on how good the support is for those creature types. The reason that Champion of the Parish is good is not because, like, it's less of the fact that Champion itself is a busted card, and more so, it's free to put into your deck because the humans that you would want to play are just good cards anyways. Does that make sense? They hasted their Amped Raptor on turn 2? What? What the hell? Why would they do that? Alright, well. They just really wanted that 2 damage, huh? They really wanted that 2 damage. Yeah. Well, I mean, is it though? There might even be more support for those creature types in Pioneer, you know? I'd have to do like a deep Scryfall search. I'd have to go really deep in the well on Scryfall and see exactly how many playables there would be. Free block. Setting the tone. Yeah, they know what they want, you know. They know what they're here for. I respect it. Alright, we've drawn a lot of lands. I'm off it. I feel like we have not really been in a position where we've drawn, like... Holy shit, that was loud. Yeah, very good chance I lose power, chat. The lightning, and the thunder, and the thunder, and the lightning, and the thunder. That's like, that's the words to that song, right? It's pretty close. Okay. I can work with this. You hate that song with a passion? Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I was listening to you and you cut out. I thought it was your power, then the ad started. Yeah. The advertisements are a way... It's really just like a scare tactic, you know? Like, you think that I lose power, but the reality is that I didn't. It was just, you know, just ads. Someone request that song? I kind of hate that song. that was something, all right. Anybody remember that? It was a good one. It was a good time. Yeah, it was a while ago. It was definitely a while ago. I want to do this here so they can't discharge the guide unless they have some other way to make energy. They could go like Raptor Discharge, and then I can just double block the Ocelot Pride. What exactly goes on during the Hawk to reality TV show? You think I'm not going to block? I'm blocking every time. This doesn't even do anything. You still lose your homie. It's just her spitting on things. Hawk Tua, baby. Hawk Tua. Beatdowns. Thank you for 6. This is why Guide of Souls is so messed up, by the way. Like, even in these interactive matchups, you just kill your opponent so quickly with Guide. It's got to be one of the best 1-drops printed in a long time. It is ridiculously powerful. Yeah, it's so messed up. Better than Monkey? I think it is. I think Guide of Souls is a better card than Ragavan. So they're just dead, right? 3, 6, 7, 8. No, they just don't block the cat token. If they block the cat token, they die. I'm going to give them the opportunity to mess up. If Guide was a 2-1, would it be better than Rag? I think it might already be better than Ragavan. Honestly, I think it being a 1-2 is even better than a 2-1. This card would be worse as a 2-1 because of this. It's better than Mother of Runes. I don't know if I'd go that far, but... Oh, that's your point. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I gotcha. Yeah, it certainly would be a much, much worse card if it was a 2-1 versus a 1-2. Alright, they're at 2. Good luck. Good luck, Mick Yorka. Okay. We have the Shitty's Blessing. Unstable Amulet. Opponent, I really got to use the restroom. Why are they attacking? Bro, I'm not going to block. You're not flipping Ajani. Get out of here. It's not happening. What is this? 2 mana. Sure. So you can kill one of my flyers and still die? Because they're at 3? Math checks out, right? It really is, yeah. Johnny's sick. I finally got all of the cards in the mail from my Boros deck. Shout out to Cool Stuff, by the way. Folks, if you need cards for RCQ season, you know the best place to do it. ! Cool Stuff Inc. They got cool stuff, and they got it in stock. And I believe if you use promo code Doom, they still might have some Doomwake Rhino tokens available. Brent PK, thank you for the Prime. We got a hype train approaching. All aboard the scam train. Is there a code? Yeah, it's just code Doom. What even makes Rhino tokens? What even makes Rhino tokens, you say? Do we need to have this conversation? I cry every time I cry myself to sleep thinking about Crashing Footfalls. I actually have, underneath my pillow, I have a top loader with a Crashing Footfalls in it. Every time I'm right about to fall asleep, I just take a look at it. Okay. They've taken a 5-minute turn to just die on board. It's a bolt strat. Combat. They're going to try to get me to fuck up, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Alright, game 3. I still like the Sanctifiers against Flage. They're also Mardu, so they have black cards too. Wait. What happens? Do you think does Rhinos become playable once they ban Nadu? I mean, I can hope so. A man can dream, okay? Just let me have this one thing, all right? I just want this one thing. Come on, man. I miss them so much. I hope that the Rhinos are okay. I really hope they're doing well. Because I miss them. I miss them so much. I cry myself to sleep every night. I'm not crying right now. You're crying. The hunters got to him. Yeah, they've been extinct. Something like that. They're not native to New England, so I guess it makes sense. It's not like I'm just driving on a side road coming home from FNM and there's just a rhino that, pops out of the woods or something. You're never going to see that. I have come pretty close to hitting a deer a couple times though, especially at night where it's kind of hard to see them. But it's like they're like just about to hit the sidebar, whatever you want to call that. It's been close. It's been close. What am I doing with my life? Am I playing Ajani? Yeah, I think so. Especially with the second one in hand. Did you hear Pablo Escobar had brought hippos down to Colombia and they are native? No, I have not heard that. New Otter Legend plus Dreadhorde Arcanist equals Rhinos Pile Copium. The new Otter Legend. The 1/3? Am I supposed to block here? No, because what if they just have Discharge for Ajani? I'll take it. I feel like taking it's fine. Yeah, the shoulder. That's what I was thinking of. Shoulder, breakdown lane. Yeah, you got it. There's no way these are real. Check this out, chat. Hold on. These cannot be real. Look at this. That's got to be like some optical illusion type shit. It's paper. Oh, it might be like a... Okay, I see. They made it out of paper. I see. But it's like an optical illusion. They're not real shoes. They just made them out of paper. I gotcha. 1, 2... So we go here, make a thing, here, and then we can even save the Memnite for next turn, which is nice. Go here. I have 3 lands, so I can go Guide of Souls, Memnite, Bushwhacker, and we just take other Memnite to try and just kill them next turn. Alright, go. We even get the trigger Guide of Souls next turn, right? Because we go play Guide, then 1, 2, 3 energy. No, I've never seen that before. They look kind of cool, though. Mercadianeer, thank you for the 21-month resub. Now you can drink. I'm taking this. I kind of assume that I can just kill them, but they might not be dead next turn. When was the last time you cast Doomwake Giant in Modern? I don't think I ever have. I think the only format that I've ever cast Doomwake Giant in is Standard. Alright, I kind of don't want to do math. I don't know if they're dead, but I don't feel like doing math, so... Maybe chat can do the math for me. I cannot be bothered to do math. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to give the Ajani flying so they can't trade for it. So, like, what's nice about giving the Ajani flying is they can't trade for the Ajani, but they also can't really afford the trade for the cat tokens either. Well, they just trade for the Bushwhacker, though, right? Maybe just give the Night Flying. It is more damage. Yeah, I guess giving the Night Flying is more damage, huh? Because, like, if I give the Ajani flying, they just go chump here. They chump the Knight and trade for the Bushwhacker. So I think that's worse. They're not dead. Okay, 2 blockers. They block the 2 3s. Take 2, 4, 6, 13. Oh, they're mega dead. Even if they block the 2 biggest creatures they can, they still take, I think, 21. They look extremely dead. By my calculations, I believe they have deceased. Damage step. Got him. What do you think the best shell is for Johnny? I mean, I think Mardu is a little bit better. It's weird. There's a little bit of trade-offs, where if you are specifically trying to prepare for the Boros mirrors, I would much rather be, or like the energy mirrors, I would much rather be playing Mardu, because I think the black cards do give you a significant advantage in the energy heads-up mirrors, because Bowmaster is good at killing Amped Raptor and Ragavan if they play it, and then Nightmare is insanely good when both players are grinding. The problem is, you lose Blood Moon, and one of your tougher matchups is the Eldrazi deck. So I'm not sure if losing Blood Moon is where you want to be, and I think that kind of depends on like what you're expecting to play against. So it's kind of tough. Okay, they let that go. I mean, I just can't beat a Wrath anyways, right? They're just going to counter my Knight, untap, and Wrath for 1, and I'm going to concede. Alright. Yeah, I know. At least this match is going to be over quick. Like Goblin Bombardment. Why didn't they dress down in response to this? Oh, maybe they wanted me to think that they had a counterspell. I thought about trying Goblin Bombardment in just like the regular Boros decks. So for those of you who didn't watch the Arena Championship this weekend, the best deck in the format is Boros Energy by a mile. And they have been playing... The Boros Energy decks in Historic have been playing Goblin Bombardment, and it's actually quite good in those decks. So I wonder if that can kind of translate into Modern. I feel like it certainly could. Alright, what are we doing here? How much do I commit? It already has. I haven't seen people playing it in Modern, but I feel like it's a really good idea. Based it twice on Friday. I've seen like I've seen a more graveyard focused version that wasn't necessarily in on, like, it was playing less of the grindy 3-drops, and it was playing like Marionette Apprentice, Cauldron Familiar, Witches of an Urza Saga. I've seen those versions, and those versions have Bombardment, but I haven't seen like just keeping the focused energy package and just trying to trim the curve down a little bit and play basically like playing, like just take the standard Boros deck with Ocelot Pride and cut Unstable Amulet for Goblin Bombardment. I think that's a really good idea. I don't know how much I want to commit here. Yeah, so I want to find a 3rd land, but if I pop the clue and find a land, I don't have... 3 mana is not enough to go Inspector, Rebirth, Bushwhacker, assuming they have Verdict next turn. So it's like I'm in such a weird spot, but I think I should still pop this clue, because I do really want to find a land here. I guess I just cast the Inspector, because if they Verdict me, I get to keep the clue in play, and then I can go Rebirth Bushwhacker. I guess this is worse if they go White Source, Wrath of the Skies.
Bruh.
Everyone booed. Boo! I've gotten into some heated debates over whether or not this card should be banned in Modern. Some heated debates. I don't know. Do you think that 4 mana Time Walk plus draw 3 cards is a good rate? What 4 mana for Time Walk plus Ancestral? This. It's draw 3 cards and take an extra turn. That is exactly what the card is. Plus. Okay. They only have 1 mana. We should still be fine, right? We just don't pop the clue. Is it better to double Bushwhacker? I feel like double Bushwhacker is better against Solitude, right? Well, it's better against Force Negation. If I Rebirth first, they force the Rebirth, and I can't... Well, I can't double Bushwhacker. I can still play 1, but... They can Subtlety this, but I have a second one, so it's kind of doesn't matter that much. It just kind of depends on what I want to play around. It looked very dead, though. You know, I've kind of described it before of, like... You know, it's essentially just like Fog, where it's like 4 mana, Time Walk, plus draw 3 cards. I think I'm just going to cut the Ornithopters. Do I want to bring in Sanctifier against Flage? Not really. I don't think so. Yeah, it was a pretty large margin for most played. Sand is really slow. I think it's good enough, though. Still the most played card now. Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is, but I think a lot of people don't want to have a discussion about banning it because of the price point. I just don't. That shouldn't matter. I understand. I feel bad for people who like the people who own rings are like, hell no. You know, I spent infinite dollars on these, and that sucks. But I just don't think it's the healthiest play patterns. It's my biggest issue. I mean, I'm kind of just going in, right? We're going in. They don't have a counter spell. They don't play counter spells. Oh, they actually didn't. Okay. Well, again, they're probably just going to counter my Convoke creature. I think this time I'm going to save the Inspector. I know that looks weird, but I'm just going to do this. This is enough power if they don't have a counter spell. I mean, they do, but yeah, okay. Again, I'm much happier with this because now if they go land Wrath of the Skies, I still get to keep a 4/4 in play. So I would much rather have them do this than counter the Loxodon. Why is the ring making a comeback now after 3 to 5 months of not being played as much? That's a good question. I mean, if you look at the decks that the One Ring is very prevalent in, like Jeskai Control, got a huge upgrade from MH3, the Energy Package, Wrath of the Skies, Flage, the Mono Black decks, again, huge upgrade from MH3, Necro Dominance, things like that. So I think that a lot of the decks where the ring is prominent, or like a lot of the decks that are prominently playing the ring, that is like a main feature of their game plan, heavy interactive style, like a Mono Black Jeskai, all of those decks got a huge boost from MH3, and I think that is part of it. Based on the spoilers so far, do you think Bloomberg will have a large effect on Pioneer? Yes. I mean, it's hard to say, because it's really hard to match the efficiency and power level of the best Pioneer decks. Like Phoenix, Amalia, Mono Green, Vampires. It's very, very difficult to compete with multiples of those. But I do feel like the power level has been amped up a little bit. That's what it generally looks like. And I think specifically for me, one thing that is kind of eye-opening about the set so far is there's a lot of powerful one-drops. And I think that is probably the best way to combat the Phoenix Mono Green Amalia stuff is go under them, like make the format faster. And I think that this set appears to be doing a somewhat reasonable job of that, which I like. You've seen the new Amalia auto-include, the 3 mana get 3 guys back. That card is really good. That card is very, very good. Would you ever not attack for 10 here and just play the Knight-Errant? There's no way, right? No, there's no way. I thought about it, but it can't be right. I was hoping to still have a Loxodon in place so that if they went untap Wrath of the Skies, So, like, I guess I think if they have Wrath of the Skies, it's not unreasonable, but giving up 10 damage is just too much. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, you know? Okay. I mean, thankfully for us, they just don't... Apparently, Wrath of the Skies does not exist in their deck. So I think we should convoke 3 to find Bushwhacker, right? 3, 4, 5... I'm going to convoke 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I assume this is getting countered, but... And I think that's my biggest issue with Grief, is it's not just the low resource, it's the combination of both. That's the problem that I have with Grief. And it's even exacerbated more in Legacy. Right on time, buddy. Right on time. Thanks. Right on time, bucko. Would have been nice to have last turn. Yeah, it's like low resource games are fine, you know? It's like if Grief was just both players start the game with 5 cards and neither player has anything in play, sure, like that's fine, whatever, I'm okay with that. But when it's both players start the game with 5 cards in hand, but I'm up a free 3/2 menace, that's what I hate about it. Like, those games are just they're not fun to play at all. Like, I just don't, I'm not a huge, and it's the combination of that, but also, like, I don't know, that's mostly it. Just those low resource games they're not really low resource games because one player is always going to be up an important resource in the exchange. Yeah, it's like they pitch their worst card and they get your 2 best cards. What you're saying is that you hate interaction? No. Lightning Bolt, Unholy Heat, like, fuck it. Print Swords to Plowshares in Modern. I'm not saying I have a problem with removal spells. Like, even the best 1-for-1 removal spells are still fine. It's just the combination of, like, you know, oh, it was a Kappa. Okay, you gotta put a Kappa next to it so I know. How else am I supposed to know? What was I gonna say? Oh, it's more exacerbated in Legacy because the free spells to protect it are even better. Where it's like you get to play Force of Will, Daze, all that stuff. So it's even more fucked up in Legacy. Yeah, exactly. It's like interaction itself is fine, but interaction plus threats. Oh, are they going to consign my Night Trigger? That's kind of funny. Yeah, I think they're consigning my Night Trigger. It's a good play. I mean, I still have 9 power in play. Effectively 11 power. Even if they Wrath for 0, it's not that bad. 4, 5, 6. We still hit for 8. Kind of okay with that. I love the argument of it's needed for combo decks. Any fair deck getting their 2 best cards taken. Right, exactly. Yeah, the other typical, very common argument when it comes to people defending Grief is it's needed to keep the combo decks in check. You could just play sideboard cards to keep those same combo decks in check. The whole shtick behind combo decks is that they're a favorite in 90% of their game ones anyways. Dredge, just like Storm, every single combo deck that's ever existed in Modern is good because it wins most of its game ones. You know? Like, you're not... Sometimes you might have a good matchup depending on what your interaction suite is, but you're not supposed to. That's why combo decks exist, you know? I think what I'm gonna do is not... Why did I play that? That was stupid. I should not have played the Novice Inspector. I was thinking I was gonna cast the Rebirth this turn, because for some reason in my head I thought I could do the Guide of Souls twice, but obviously I cannot. And I know this is worse against Solitude, but I have to pump this because it's better against Wrath. I'm just gonna pass. Micah, thank you for the 36-month resub. 2 Mike wins the match. Cool. All right, nice. A lot of Giganta today. This hand is not good. It's better. Not fantastic, but better. I think I'm going to put back, I guess, the second Bushwhacker, right? Which feels weird. I'm wondering if I should main deck some Harsh Mentors and Boros for rescue season. I've been thinking about that too, Golem Gamer. I have an RCQ on the 10th, and obviously if nothing happens by then, I think I might main deck too. Because I just got the rest of my Boros cards in the mail. Okay, that's good. What deck plays Hedge Maze and Gigantha? Confused. Oh, Zoo. I just haven't seen Zoo in forever that I forgot it existed. It's been a minute, alright. I mean, did we just go in? This, pump the Guide of Souls, and then they would block the Bushwhacker and take 3. They only take 6? It doesn't seem that good, right? 6 does not seem like a lot of damage. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a turn. It's gonna go this pass. You know, what if we just played both of these just to hit with Guide? I know that we're losing a spell for Bushwhacker, but, like, any spell will let us Bushwhacker. Any spell besides second Bushwhacker, right? I almost feel like that might be worth it. I'm gonna do it. I guess this line is not super great if they just kill my Guide of Souls. Like, if they have Tribal Flames or Binding in hand. It kind of sucks, but... What's up, Toasted Panini? We're not going to block here. Definitely just going to tank this. That's another thing that's nice about Guide of Souls in this deck is it just gains you a bunch of life. It helps race. That's just why the card is so messed up. It just does everything. It kills them, it gains you life. It just does it all. This is really just a Guide of Souls appreciation stream. Rude. Alright, give me Gleeful Demolition. Good enough. I know I didn't do this last turn, but now I kind of can't pass it up, right? It's 2, 4, 6, 7, 9. They go to 5. I'm not in danger of dying, am I? I don't think so. Debating what deck I want to play for my weekly Pioneer League of my LGS since I've been playing Mono Green for the past year and a half. Phoenix time, I'm saying. If you haven't tried Phoenix, it's one of those things you gotta try. You gotta try at least once. Would highly recommend. Okay. Now I want a convoke creature. It's not bad. It's not a convoke creature, but I'll take it. Tax there could put them to 3 potentially. Yeah, I was really hoping they didn't have Scion of Draco this turn. Because Scion would have given both the Kabus trample. This is kind of now a very weird staring contest. I could hold the Ajani for a second Bushwhacker, but I feel like it's important to play it, because then I can start attacking with the cat token next turn. If I send everything, they block. It still only deals them 2 damage. So I think we still wait on attacks for a little bit. Okay, makes sense. Tried Convoke and Vamps. Yeah, those are both pretty good too. I guess I'll take this. It's my best draw at this point. Not Bushwhacker. Definitely not Arid Mesa. Okay, that helps. So let's go... Do I just do it for 5? Probably, right? I'm trying to make sure that I leave enough blockers back to survive next turn. I want to do it with the creatures I am less likely to chump block with. Which is these 2 for sure. I'm pretty likely to chump block with my 0-power creature. So I guess just like this. In before stub. You're gonna stub my Knight-Errant of Eos? I mean, they could try. I don't know how far they would get. Those are both really good. I guess I kind of wish I had kept untap the cat, because then I could have maybe attacked with the cat this turn, but I'll still accept. I'm just going to go extremely wide. We're going a little wide, Jewel, today. Alright, your turn. Next turn, I definitely will attack. I know it's been we've been waiting a little bit. Kind of sitting around waiting for the perfect time. Next turn, no. Next turn, I got you. You think they have Wrath of the Skies in their territorial Kavu deck? I doubt it. Streamer playing into Wrath. Yeah, because they definitely play Wrath of the Skies. They definitely play Wrath of the Skies. 100% play Wrath of the Skies. I should just take 10, right? It's not lethal. Question is, do we take 5? I'd prefer to not take 5. Okay, how many creatures do I have left back if I do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 blocker. Even if they play 2 blockers or blocker plus removal spell, 8 minus 3 is still 5. So this is lethal even if they have 2 things. So they somehow need to have 3 things, which I guess could be Nacatl, Bolt, Bolt. I guess putting the 1-2, yeah, because it just takes 1 less damage. Right, if I put the 1-2 here, they still only kill the knight, but I take 1 less damage. Oh shit, yeah, we could die to land double Tribal Flames. Well, I probably should have blocked with the Thraben Inspector, huh? Surely they won't have land double Tribal Flames, right? That would never happen. I don't give a shit about that. Okay, now they're just dead, right? I guess I'll do this in case we hit Bushwhacker. Okay, we'll go to combat. Combat to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 blockers. So block removal still kills them. Is there a 1-mana interactive spell they could cast with Hedge Maze? Seems unlikely. Alright, Tone Generator has a song request for us. He said, play it loud alert. Play it loud? I mean, I could keep the volume the same. Please speak on my thoughts of it being harder to play tighter online versus in paper. Well, I mean, like, when I'm streaming, it's impossible. No, I'm just kidding. But that's your fault. Playing Zoo. I don't know that I want any of this against Zoo. Like, if you want to see how your opponent sideboarded, it's quicker to just look at their sideboard rather than look through their entire deck, right? It just saves time. Like, is there anything in the rules that say you can't reveal your sideboard to your opponent? Not that I'm aware of. This is one of those rare circumstances where I'm going to lead with Inspector, because they're less likely to kill it. Nothing in the rules that say a dog can't play basketball. Now you're going to make me go, like, look up a TikTok of a dog playing basketball, which is not a bad thing. I'm counting the days since it would be the day after the Pro Tour, because that was the first opportunity they had to ban it. So that's where I'm starting from. I know Airbud. I've seen Airbud. It's been a minute, but I've seen Airbud. I'm sure there's probably some new TikTok with it, though, you know. Okay. So, what are we doing here? We're getting a Plains. Can I get a Plains? Yeah, get a Plains. Guide of Souls. Gleeful Demolition. I'm going to save the Memnite for next turn. I mean, ideally, I just draw land, and then I can go Memnite Gleeful Bushwhacker next turn. You know what I guess I could have done? Instead of playing the Guide of Souls, I could have just gone Memnite double Gleeful. Was that better? Wait, they reversed it, Jose? Bro, let's go. Let's go. What did they say about changing it at like 3 days before the tournament? That's awesome, dude. I'm happy for you. Does that like qualify you for anything? How do you edit tweets? Can you? I don't know how. I have no idea. I'm guessing that qualifies you for something, though, right? Right, I know you should be first, but what does that qualify you for? A PT? Only if chat spams Pepe base, though. Accuse you for the Mox and the PT? That's fucking awesome, dude. Congrats. That's sick. Alright, how much damage is Memnite Bushwhacker? Assuming they kill this, it's 10. So, is it better... excuse me, to go Inspector Gleeful and save Memnite Bushwhacker for next turn? Or do we just assume they don't have a bolt? Yeah, pretty good chance they have a bolt, right? I'm just gonna go for this. Yeah, I know. So we go here, and then... Surely they don't also have Stub, right? They really have Stub, too? Alright, I mean, touche. It's a good turn for them. They still go to 7, and they're probably still just going to die next turn, but... Alright, the Pepe base is about to hit. This is how I would dance if I was in a club. Look, I have no skills, alright? This is why I don't go to clubs. Territorial Kavu. Kavu. So... This is bad if they have... No, we beat removal spell, right? Block removal, they still take 8. So this beats everything, I think. Pretty sure this beats everything. Swish! Thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody from Swish's stream. Hope you had a good one. We're playing some modern Boros Convoke. Ajani and Guide of Souls go in every deck, apparently. So this hand has 4 lands, right? But hear me out. It does have turn 2, 10 power. Would you keep a 4-land hand on the play that is 10 power on turn 2? I think it's good enough, right? I think it's good enough. It's gotta be, right? You can only draw gas from now on. Tell that to the Flooded Strand that's on top of my deck. Oh my god, imagine they have Force Negation. I will concede if they have Force Negation. I mean, there's only 14 lands left in our deck at this point, so I would say not very high, right? On average. Just shuffle the Strand. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, well, they don't have Force Negation. Devourer of Destiny. This hand's, like, weirdly good against Thoughtnuts here. Because our hand's going to be empty by the time they cast it. So, kind of don't care about that. Should be good hands against Tron. Yeah, unless they have turn 3 All Is Dust. That's what I'm worried about. Soapbox, thank you for the prime. Thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate that. With the exile. Tower, Lab, Devourer. Okay. Does that tell me anything about their hand? Not really. Okay. You know what would have been hilarious if they just fired off turn 1 Dismember? Alright, remember that thing I said about should have played a fetch on turn 1? Should have done that. Did I try to jam Ocelot right into this list? So here's the problem, and I did do that, yes. The initial list that I had 4 copies of Ocelot Pride, and I played a league last night off stream because I wanted to try out the ideas and the new cards. And the problem that I found with Ocelot Pride was the reason that Pride is so good in Boros is, yes, it's very good with Guide of Souls. But the reason that Pride is very good in Boros is because they play a million removal spells to be able to get it through. And I had a lot of situations last night when I played the League with Pride. If I didn't draw Guide of Souls, then it felt really bad. Because I just couldn't turn it on. I could never attack with it. So that's kind of the conclusion that I came to. And the card that I added was Loxodons. And I kind of wanted more Convoke creatures anyways, so... The reason I'm not playing Giganta, I know the main deck is compatible, but we have 7 cards in the sideboard that are not, so I don't know. And also, an 18-land deck, like, Giganta's just not going to come up that often. Maybe you could build a sideboard without... See, the thing is, I don't think you can... you can't really cut Flare from the sideboard. You need it to be able to beat Jeskai. Alright, well, I mean, now we're just dead, right? They're going to go land All His Dust and we lose. I'm just going to scoop if they cast it. We can't win. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I know. Something at least, right? Alright, I mean... Ajani can cook a little bit. If only we were playing on Arena, where we would have the Ajani sounds. Do you think I can play Frog in place of Ragavan in Murktide? So you're saying just like blue-black Murktide, right? No Surveil Land? Yeah, I don't think you can play a Surveil Land. Like, the problem with Surveil Land is the land count is very low, and you can never, ever, ever afford to have a tap land. Like, if you're keeping a 2-land hand, having a tap land is just going to be a detriment. Like, you're going to die because of the tap land. So... I could save this Inspector. Maybe I should. I was going to say I could save it for a Bushwhacker. Maybe I should have done that. It's kind of crazy how nice that you're rebuilding. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about this deck, is like Ajani's a very good top deck even after they wrath you, and then like this can be good if you can have something to filter. If you can curve something into it, then it's nice. Well, second one I'm good on. Unfortunately, All's Dust gets around Flare, so we don't really have any sideboard cards here. Could bring in Harsh Mentor against like Urza's Saga and Expedition map, but that seems kind of narrow. Yeah, Sunbaked Canyon could be kind of reasonable. Maybe you want to play like 1 or 2 copies. I was a little bit worried about it against the aggressive decks, but maybe that's fine. Okay, we're just going to draw the lands that we drew last game with this hand. I mean, honestly, even if I don't draw a land, I can still just turn to Loxodon, so I don't need to draw a land with this hand. It would be preferable, but... Do you feel like this deck most poorly did you keep? Because why not? You're saying this hand? This hand's just good. This is just a good hand. I think. Oh, wait. No, I needed to play the Inspector on 1. I guess I fucked up. Maybe I should have played Inspector first. Because then I could have gone Rebirth, sack the Clue, play Thopter 5 for Loxodon. Yeah, okay, I messed up. So I guess I'll play the Inspector this turn. No, because, yeah, second guide can allow me to just do it next turn then. I might as well play the Thopter too, right? Because this can let me pump the guide this turn. Yeah. I don't know, was I supposed to play Inspector on 1? Probably, yeah. It's just too important to Loxodon fast against them. Because, like, their whole game plan is just get to All's Dust as fast as possible. So it's possible that I should have just, like, foregone the Guide of Souls stuff to just guarantee the turn 2 Loxodon. I probably should have done that. Okay. That is acceptable. I mean, this line still really needs to draw land. Because if I don't draw land, I still can't play the Loxodon. All's Dust is pretty messed up. If Command on Guide, that's bad. Okay, really need to find a land. Fuck. Alright, go. I still stand by the keep. I think the keep was totally fine. Oh, they have TKS. Probably should take our Rebirth. I mean, unless they just have All's Dust next turn, then they probably just take Loxodon. It doesn't matter if they have All's Dust. We probably just can't win this game now. Well, that doesn't help. Your turn. Surely, I mean, it's got to be next turn, right? Next turn has to be the turn that we're drawing a land. Nice. I like that they are printing powerful, cheap cards, because I think that's what Pioneer is really missing. I'm going to hold the Memnite for Bushwhacker. Yeah, that's one thing that I like a lot about Bloomburrow, is the 1-drops that I've seen so far have looked very good, and I think that is what Pioneer needs. I guess we play Ajani this turn, right? And still hold the Memnite. Yeah. Because I think the biggest problem with Pioneer is that Phoenix is too efficient, and there's not really a ton of things that go under the Vampires deck. And I think that the best way to fix Pioneer, without bans, of course, is to give a lot of, like, inject a lot of power into the aggressive cards, into the aggressive creatures. And it seems like that's what they're doing so far with this set, which is nice. Yeah, I haven't seen anything super crazy like Slickshot, but there's definitely some powerful 1-drops. Like the green 2/1 is nice. The green 1/1, the new like Champion of the Parish that counts for the rabbits and other creature types, that one's pretty good. So there's definitely some good cards. Yeah, the Looter looks good too. I like the Looter a lot. There's the Offspring Dark Confidant that looks pretty good. Bruh. Why are you trying to breaking me over here? I can't beat this. Yeah, I'm good. All right, you win. I'm good. I'm good. See you. All right, so final thoughts. What do we think about this deck? There's something here for sure. Guide of Souls and Ajani both work very well in this deck. You know, you saw in that league where Guide of Souls plus Gleeful Demolition or Rebirth is just instant activation for Guide. The life buffer is pretty good. The one thing that I have been missing is more copies of Bushwhacker. So I think the next build that I kind of want to try is -1 Loxodon, -1 Thopter for 2 Goblin Bushwhackers, and then you have 6 Bushwhackers, 6 Convoke creatures, and I think that's a good mix of payoffs. Past that, I don't know that there's a ton else that I want to change. I mean, Ajani is a powerful card, but it's like, it is a lot worse when you don't have removal spells to flip your own Ajani. Maybe it's more of like, maybe Ajani should be a sideboard card in this deck, and just you board that in against the grinding matchups. I'm not sure. That could be kind of tough. But some things to think about. But I think that the core overall is pretty good. So if you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought down below, and I will see all the YouTube folks in the next one.